Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Sabena Izoku. The Senate on Tuesday summoned the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, to appear before it on Wednesday on the level of his agency preparedness for the 2015 general elections. The decision was taken after a motion by the Senate leader, Victor Indoma Egba, who noted that there is need for Jega to brief the senators and demonstrate the use of the card readers. The minority leader, George Akume, also suggested that 3 service chiefs who engineered the postponement of the polls from the February 14th be equally invited. However, while Senate President David Mark was ruling on the motion and the voice vote approval of the senators, he added the invitation of service chiefs will be determined by Jega's submission on Wednesday. Mark therefore directed that INEC was to appear before the Senate in plenary Wednesday by 11 a.m. Away from that, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said that 75.88% of the registered voters have received their permanent voters' cards as at February 17th. The figure released by INEC spokesman Ayodele on Tuesday showed that 52.2 million out of 68.8 million voters have picked up their PVCs. A look through the list indicates that 97.51% of 1.4 million eligible voters in Zamfara State have their PVCs. Nasarawa State has 96.29% collection rate, while Gombe State is third in ranking with 95%. The figure also shows 62.4% of registered voters in Lagos State now has their voters' cards. Ogun State is, however, the least with 40.86%, followed by the FCT with 61.42%. Opposition members of the Nigerian Senate are insisting that elections must hold of the rescheduled dates of the 28th of March and 11th of April. They also maintain that the card readers have to be used for accreditation on the 2 days, contrary to the position of some members of the ruling People's Democratic Party. This was the position senators elected of the platform of the All Progressive Congress expressed at a news conference in Abuja. They argue that there are signs that card readers may be used as reasons for a further shift in elections. Away from that, news coming in from the plenary of the House of Representatives that the sit-ins indicates that the People's Democratic Party has once again suffered a loss in membership as 6 members of the House of Representatives defected from the party. The All Progressive Congress gained 3 members, the Labour Party and 2 members, and the Accord Party 1 new member. This is the latest in the series of defection that has hit the ruling PDP, with the biggest being the defection of the Speaker of the House, Aminu Tambuwa, also to the All Progressive Congress. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletin. Reports just coming in indicates that the All Progressive Congress governorship campaign rally in Okrika in Rivers State descended into a stampede after 3 explosive devices went off in vicinity of the rally venue, leading to the gathered crowd to scatter into different directions as they run for safety. The crowd was waiting for the leader of the party to continue his campaign in the area, which has witnessed a lot of claims and counterclaims of violence from all sides of the political divide in Rivers State. Okrika is the hometown of the First Lady Patience Jonathan, who has been involved in an alleged running battle of supremacy with the state governor Rotimi Amici. Some structures belonging to the All Progressive Congress and the campaign rallies of the party have also suffered attacks before now. Reactions have not only to trail the former President Olusegunbajos exit from the PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, but also the tearing of the membership card at the public forum. Oluwase Adegoke went down to town to feel the pulse of the people on this issue and filed in this report.
As a founding father and elder statesman of the People's Democratic Party, it is with mixed reactions that political analysts describe the request by former President Olusegunbajos that his PDP membership card be torn in public by a ward chairman. Achike Chudi described the card-tearing drama of the former president as one beneath the status of an elder statesman.
Because, I mean, if you have been following Obasanjo in the past few weeks and his conflicts with the PDP, it will be clear to everybody that a real party man perhaps will not go to the extent that he has gone. He perhaps has seen himself as bigger than the PDP, or he believes, like he says, that PDP no longer has anything, or he infers PDP really has nothing concrete to offer the country anymore, and that there must be a new direction for the sake of the country and so on.
The Lagos PDP Secretary Wahab Owokoniro, without mincing words, condemns the act.
I am really disappointed with the behavior of the former president. As an elderly statesman, I expected him to behave more maturely, even though if you have disagreement with the party and you want to leave the party, it is not decent for you to now come out in the open and turn the card. No, it's not. I thought over it several times and I couldn't even make any sense of it. I don't see the rationale behind that.
This Lagos lawyer, Chukwuemeka Eze, says the former president has been biding time to act this out.
Being a military man, he engaged in ambush. He has succeeded in ambushing PDP. It seems to me that over time, he has been marking his time to the last hour, 11th hour, because he had allowed PDP to come and reveal their strategies to him, and many of them begged him, he put them on tape, and he had allowed the other group. So now he has ambushed PDP. Many of them cannot comment because of what they had told him in secret. But if they had known Obasanjo, they should have known that he does not forgive. Having rendered him politically impotent, that there was no way he wouldn't fight like a jilted lover. And this was what he did dramatically, or melodramatically yesterday. So I think I expected him to sting like a scorpion.
Although the Lagos State APC chairman, Henry Ajomale, in his reaction, did not exonerate the former president, he, however, attributed his action to deep-seated problems in the PDP.
I believe that it is part of his anger that he's expressing against his political party. Of course, it's rather unfortunate that the way he reacted, but everybody knows Chief Obasanjo. If you say you don't know him, with his reaction to certain things, then they are not doing justice to the subject matter. Everybody knows him, that he doesn't hide his feelings, and he says whatever he wants to say. But overall, I think that he too contributed to what is befalling them today.
Many have dismissed Obasanjo's vow to remaining an elder statesman in the country. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has reiterated his commitment to the re-election bid of President Goodluck Jonathan. And while reacting to the exit of former President Olusegunbajos from the PDP, Fayose says Obasanjo's exit is for the betterment of the PDP.
I want to tell you that whether they like it or not, irrespective of the propaganda in high levels, God has ordained what God wants to ordain. Whether Obasanjo tear his voters card or not, it is simply good radiance to bad rubbish. In fact, I am not disappointed, because I know at some point Obasanjo will fizzle out.
Still in Ekiti State, the Governor Ayodele Fayose has dedicated his victory at the Court of Appeal, which validated his victory at the 2014 Ekiti State governorship election to the people of Ekiti State. While speaking to his supporters at the victory session in Ekiti State, city of Ado-Ekiti, Fayose thanked his people, the Ekiti people, for their support over time.
We want to thank God together for the victory, and we want to appreciate our people for keeping vigil, keeping faith with the PDP and with our son, the candidate, by extension, the governor. Our prayers is that the remaining hurdles ahead of us, God will clear them.
The governor, however, calls for more support from the people to ensure the success of his administration, while also promising to deliver the dividends of democracy to Ekiti people.
Perfect will of God, we will not be here. Yes. And because we are here for you. Yes. We are here for the ordinary man. Yes. And by the grace of God, we will live up to expectation in Jesus' name.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a commercial break, and then when we return, there'll be more stories for you to stay with us.
Don't you wish your mommy was fine like mine? Yeah. Don't you wish your mommy was smart like mine? Yeah. Don't you? Don't you wish your mommy could laugh like mine?
And that's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to help stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family.
Don't you wish your wifey was hot like mine?
3 Crowns now comes in powder.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform, and that's on facebook.com/CoreTV News and on our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. For news updates and other programs, you can join us on our youtube.com/CoreTV News. The Oyo State Office of the Independent National Electoral Commission has dismissed claims of having any unholy or sinister intentions with its partnership with the State Council of the National Union of Road Transport Workers for transportation logistics during the forthcoming general elections. While responding to the allegations credited to the Accord Party in the state at an emergency meeting which had representatives of other political parties, the State Electoral Commissioner Rufus Akeju says the decision was taken by the National Chairman of the Commission in his bid to ensure and redesign the existing logistic arm of the election management. Omotayo Alo has the rest of the story.
Of the Independent National Electoral Commission to use the State Council of the NURTW for election logistics did not come as a welcome development for most political parties in Oyo State for obvious reasons. According to this party's stalwarts, the Transport Workers Union in the state have a bad record and the bias for the ruling party, which will render the efforts of the state's INEC office to ensure a free and fair elections ineffective.
I believe here that all the major parties here, except one or its allies, will support that arrangement, because in Oyo State we know what the NURTW are doing. We know the party they are supporting. We know the party they are working for.
There's difference between the NURTW in that place and in Oyo State.
Remove the issue of the leadership of NURTW completely. If you don't remove them, then I don't think we are planning to hold election in Oyo State, because they are the ones that will foment trouble, that will cause trouble.
For the State Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mojid Olaoya, the parties opposing the policy of INEC are just scared that their past will haunt them, adding that the NURTW of the current administration has been remodeled to be democratic and civil in all respect.
Past government, they have been making use of this union one way or the other to disturb the peace, to carry the ballot boxes, to smash people, to do this and that. You understand? That is the main reason why they are now saying that they don't want them.
Having listened to both sides of the divide, The State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Rufus Akeju, advised parties in opposition to address a letter to the National Electoral Body, who is in the best position to make any adjustment on the policy to partner with the transport union.
This is not election as usual. This is not INEC you used to know. If you don't know that by 2011, by now you should know. There are a lot of changes, my dear. Rigging, those who want to rig will commit suicide.
Asked if his party will be willing to go ahead with the elections on the assumption that INEC doesn't go back on its decision, the State Publicity Secretary of Accord, Nureni Adeniran, says that it will be unfair on the majority if the policy is not modified.
I have to let you know that my party is vehemently opposing that particular idea. We are not going to accept it.
With less than 6 weeks to the general elections, the state's Office of the Independent Electoral Commission has continued to assure Oyo residents of a free, fair, and credible poll. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Supporters of the All Progressive Congress in Amodofin, local government area of Lagos State, says they are confident that the success of the APC from the national to the local level is assured at the polls come the 28th of March and the April 11th, 2015. They said this during a march from the local government secretariat around the area, making a stop at the palace of the Alado of Ado Kingdom, Oba Latif Olayinka Ado, and paid homage to the monarch. They, however, said the entire Amodofin constituency will receive the support of the main opposition party, the APC.
Lagos is APC to the core, 100% APC. And talking about the postponement of the election, is something that caught us unaware, and we are prepared for it. We know the presidency is scared. They are really scared. They don't want to lose, but they will eventually lose. At the end of the day, come March 28th, April 11, APC will take over at the national and the state level.
We are trying our best to make sure that our party will win from all the local, all the election, from the president, Senate, House of Rep, Governor, House of Assembly. All the elections, we pray we win it, and we are working harder to make sure we win the party. Our leaders are working right from the national to the local government level. They are working tirelessly to make sure we win this election.
It's to show our strength, not only to the public, but to the APC generally, that Amodofin is united. Because this is a joint effort to showcase that Amodofin stands solidly for APC.
And away from that, the President, Goodluck Jonathan, has formally sent the names of 8 ministerial nominees to the Senate for confirmation as cabinet members. Topping the list is former Minister of State for Defense Musiliu Obanikoro, who is to represent Lagos State in the Federal Executive Council. There are 2 other former federal lawmakers on the list. They are Senators Patricia Akwashiki and Joe Ikenya. The remaining nominees are Professor Ada, retired Colonel Augustine Akobundu, Fidelis Awanko, Awa Lawan, and Kenneth Kobani. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has appealed to doctors in the state to reach a consensus to avoid incessant strike actions, irrespective of difference they have with the government. Fashola made this appeal at the opening of the 2015 Lagos State Council on Health meeting. Abiola Oluwole's report is presented from our studio.
Providing effective transportation for commuters in a densely populated megacity like Lagos remains a challenge. This informed the introduction of the BRT and the lag bus systems by the state government over the years, but the need to continuously revamp and improve its operations led to the introduction of these additional 100 air-conditioned buses in partnership with the private sector. According to Governor Fashola, this will assist in boosting employment opportunities as well as fortify the operations of the lag buses service. He, however, blames the unconducive business environment for the inability of operators of the scheme to replace aging buses.
So when people see aging buses that are not being replaced, it's not because government is not efficient. It's because
the private sector is being incapacitated by financial regulations and economic policies that are not helping them to grow. That is the reality. Because we expect them to now borrow money at 210 naira to $1 at 25%, and we expect them to buy buses and keep them at the same prices. What kind of economics is that? And then federal government has also increased, if it has not, it has announced that it will increase tariff on buses. So this is the environment in which the bus operators do business.
Fashola earlier in the day commissioned a magistrate court named after Roselyn Omotosho, a former judge in the state.
However, that's the wrong visual. We sincerely apologize for that. We will take that visual again.
The Lagos State Council on Health is a platform for the state to present its scorecards to the operatives of the health sectors in the last 1 year. Presenting some accomplishments of the state government to the health workers in the last 365 days, Fashola disclosed that the state has improved access to qualitative healthcare delivery to residents across board. He also used the occasion to appeal to medical doctors operating in the state to always see themselves as God on earth by avoiding strike action irrespective of grievances they have with the government or government policies.
I ask it for the public that you serve. I have said repeatedly, and I will say it again, you are like God on earth. God does not go inside. And I believe that when all is said and done, we cannot live a life without conflict and differences. But the duty to save life and the skills to do so are highly valued skills.
Despite the success witnessed in the state health sector so far, Fashola urged the medical doctors to vote for leaders that have the capacity to consolidate on the progress.
What will take us to our destination is the quality of people who manage this facility and the quality of person who leads the whole team. I urge you, please, do not entrust Lagos to a party that built one maternal center and throws a big party where you have built 7 and you are almost completing 3 more. Not to entrust Lagos to those who cannot expand a single business after 2 decades. They will not be able to undertake this expansion that Lagos needs.
The State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, says the state has since 1999 instituted structures that improve access of residents to healthcare delivery. The event also witnessed presentation of merit awards to Fashola on the success of the state in its health sector.
And outside Nigeria, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called for a United Nations resolution mandating an international coalition to intervene in Libya after its bomb Islamic State targets there. The Islamic State released a video on Sunday showing the beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians, drawing Cairo directly into the conflict across its borders and raising concerns the Islamic insurgents are already active in Syria and Iraq, spreading their influence further. Referring to the 2011 Libyan war, in which France was part of an international coalition backing forces that disposed former leader Muammar Gaddafi, Sisi described it as an unfinished mission. Sisi called on militias to hand in their arms, but called for weapons to be supplied to Libya's internationally recognized government based in the eastern city of Tobruk after rivals seized power in Tripoli. The Tobruk government has already asked for the lifting of an international arms embargo to help it take back control of the country. And that's a wrap-up of the news at 7. Do join us on the prime time news, and that's 9:45 p.m. For me and the newsroom, we say many thanks. I am Savannah, and thank you very much indeed for